My name is Isabella Ray, and I'm a freshman music education member here at the University of Maryland. Today I'm going to be talking about modern-day slavery, or slavery by another name. Slavery by another name. Many would be shocked by Douglas Blackmon's observation and accusation portrayed in the title of his book and film, as the practice of slavery was supposedly abolished. However, the texts, videos, and discussions we've examined throughout this class thus far have shed light on what Michelle Alexander referred to as a well-disguised system of racialized social control that functions in a manner strikingly similar to Jim Crow, a concept that has always been conveniently left out of any school history textbooks that I've seen. In the schools that I have attended, and I would assume many others, we were taught that Abraham Lincoln ended slavery through the Emancipation Proclamation and the passing of the 13th Amendment. I remember briefly discussing the Black Codes and Jim Crow laws that followed, creating a new social structure to prevent any upward mobility in the Black communities, but we thought that that was the end of the era of formalized, racially biased systems. Yet a loophole was found in the 13th Amendment, allowing slavery and/or involuntary servitude as a punishment for crime. The combination of the specific Jim Crow laws that incriminated blacks and the legal forced labor of criminals created the convict lease system, encouraging the targeting, labeling, and dehumanization of blacks by arresting them without justification and then leasing them to various businesses. Even in recent years, we've watched kids and young adults such as Trayvon Martin and Freddie Gray be murdered by police officers, and millions of others arrested on small charges and thrown into prison. Like the common crime of vagrancy in the Jim Crow laws, blacks are targeted when idling in the community, especially in groups. Additionally, the labor without adequate compensation still comes into play, especially with large schools like University of Maryland purchasing cheap furniture built with prison labor. While having convicts produce products used in society may seem productive, it's criminal in and of itself when the convict lease system was, and modern-day prisons are, set up so that once someone, usually a black male, has been labeled as a criminal or a felon, it is impossible to get out of the system. Commonly, the fees and/or bail to be released are outrageously priced, knowing that blacks held down in poverty by those discriminatory social structures would be unable to afford it. Once in debt with the government, it's easy to push them into taxing uncompensated labor. While it may be almost 200 years later, the concept is the same. Regardless of if these convicts are guilty or not, their lives have been stolen. As shown by the specific court cases described in the New Jim Crow, the story of the cotton hands' lives throughout slavery and after the passing of the 13th Amendment and slavery by another name, the statistics provided in Invisible Men, and the personal narrative of Slug, slavery does exist, and it's right in front of us. We can see the biased modern social structure driving through parts of Baltimore with dozens of homeless black men, many of whom, justly or not, have probably been through the criminal justice system. Even in Maryland's supposedly progressive and diverse Howard County, an incident just this year occurred where 4 white high schoolers were caught having spray painted a school building with swastikas and a racial slur targeting their black principal. Occurrences like these can be traced to America's criminalization of African Americans. Regardless of where you come from or who you are, I believe that we've all witnessed the ramifications of the criminalization and mass incarceration of blacks. This is modern-day slavery because, as stated in the New Jim Crow, we have not ended racial caste in America. We have merely redesigned it. The discriminatory social structure that is our criminal justice system is, in fact, slavery by another name, making the book title an accurate one. Renaming a product, system, or service is a popular marketing technique to get rid of negative connotations that the old label may carry in order to encourage support for what is nearly the same thing. We can see the parallels between convict leasing and the New Jim Crow through their same goal of targeting individuals with laws that are either directed at or only enforced when it comes to blacks. While it may not be a big deal to rename a new toy or a new dieting program, calling slavery by another name has allowed our society to entrap and dictate the lives of countless black Americans forever. The New Jim Crow is a vital part of American culture that needs to be understood. Our nation's history is incomplete without it, especially as it plagues the United States today.